My name is Patricia Robinson. Patricia Robinson. I fancy myself a poet and a storyteller. A singer at one time, too. But I want to tell you about a little lady that I met one day when I thought the world was just going to open up at the bottom of that chair and just suck me in. That's how much bad luck I had gotten. And I didn't want that to happen. I wanted to be bright and on my feet and doing things like I was supposed to. But the doctors had told me that I didn't have long for here. My kidneys were failing and a whole bunch of stuff was going on. And I told them, I said, my goodness, what am I going to do? I mean, I was traveling then and doing good. Thank you, Jesus, for the applause that I'd get at each venue. I tried to keep my head on straight. I tried not to get a big head because, a lot of people get a big head when they got people liking them and following them around. But that day I was home. I had been to the doctor and I was sitting on the end where I always sat, the front row on the end, taking pictures, doing whatever I could do to commemorate everything that we did. And the doors popped open a little ways away from me. And this electric wheelchair came rolling in. Yeah, she came in just as proud as could be. She was strapped down from the knees into the chair so she wouldn't fall out. Strapped. And her weight, I'm sure she couldn't lose weight because she couldn't do nothing but just lay there. Her weight was up. She hated that. Although she ate like a big pig now, she could eat. And I didn't mean pig in a bad way, but, just to give you for instance of how much she ate. And she rolled on in there. I was just about in tears for about the third time, and I had pulled them back and got them under control. And she rolled over to me and grabbed my hand. I had my hand on my leg like this, across my knee. And she grabbed my hand and she said, this lady I didn't know who she was, it's going to be all right, Pat. It's going to be all right. I didn't even know why she even knew my name, but she did. And she sat there with me for a little while. And she said, would you like for me to pray for you? Yes. Yes, ma'am. I can use all the prayers you can give me. And she said her name was Kaye. I never forget it. And of course she knew mine. She didn't know my last name, but I told her the last name. And we sat there and she prayed for me. She says, now I hope I'm going to do you some good. She says, because I'm supposed to be the speaker tonight. Now, already she has been like a bright beam to me in those few minutes. But now I'm going to get to hear what she got to say. I'm going to get to hear why this woman knew I needed to be prayed for. Why this woman knew I was in the condition I was in. That blew my mind that she even knew, that I needed so much. And we sat there, and the music played, and she sat there beside me, and then they says, after the music went off, they said, well, Kaye is going to come and give her testimony. I was all ears. I'm always all ears, but I mean I was really all ears. If I could have used the second pay, I would have. And we sat there, and they fixed the Bible in her hands. She was paralyzed from the neck down. So they fixed it in her hand some kind of way, how they had the things on her hand so she could hold it and she could read it. And she started out by telling us why she was in that wheelchair. Well, she started out with a prayer, I'm sorry. And then she went on to tell us why she was in that wheelchair. That she had had an accident when she was 17. 17, she was in her 60s. And had been in that chair all that time, strapped in. Ain't that amazing? But the most amazing part was the fact that she still loved other people. She was a people person for real. I know I'm a people person, but she was personified people person. And she went on to tell how it happened and what she had been through and all of that. And I just sat there with tears welling up in my eyes because I knew that this woman who had been through this for all these years cared about me. I felt like she cared about everybody that was there. I really do. And she just gave us both barrels. And she talked about God like he was her brother or somebody that push you around or do jokes at you or something like that. She talked about like that was their relationship, a brother and a sister. So, wow. And we finished that night, and she took my telephone number down, and she called me. And she says, would you like to go out to lunch? Now, the good feeling she gave me that day was one of them kind of feelings that you never really shake. You never do, because each time it kind of looked like it's going to wear down, then you think about her again, and pop, it's right back up there again. Yeah. And I told her, I said that I'd never been around a woman that was paralyzed and things like that. What is it that you need from me? She said, I don't need anything from you. But for you to be my friend. That's what she said. And I wanted to be her friend. And I knew she wanted to be mine. So we sat there on the phone talking this and talking that. She says, why are we doing this on the phone? Come on, go out to lunch with me. Okay, so we went to, good Lord, what's the name of the place? I'll get to it in a minute. We went there. The place that has the peanuts on the floors and stuff. They don't have it on the floors no more since COVID, but that's where she took me. I had been there many times before. And we sat there with her handler was with her. Her handler had to be with her at all times. I'm going to think of her name in a minute, too. And we all sat there laughing and joking and carrying on. And I found myself thanking her over and over and over and over again for being that lady that came through that door with so much compassion and love in her heart. I just kept telling her how much it meant to me. And believe me, over time, it would even mean more than that to me. Because she made me get up out of that pity party I was in. She said, God loves you. I love you. Them the two important people, Pat. Those are the two important people. And it was like every other day we would see each other. You know, she was just a kind-hearted woman. And she got me to go into Bible study with her. And I go to Bible study. I wasn't in her room. They put me in another lady's room that was kind of slim on people. And one day she says to me, she says, Pat, would you please write a poem, because it's going to be my time to address the whole bunch of people, Bible study class, the whole class in one. We all, and we split up, but we come back together at the end, and somebody will be up there talking and carrying on like that. And that would be her week. She told me the date and everything. She said, please write me something to do, and I want you to share it. I said, oh Lord. I thought she was going to share it, but no, she said she couldn't share my words, just like I couldn't share her word. The day came. It was John 3:16. I'll never forget it. That's what she wanted us to write about. And I read it over, and I've heard it many years. But to have it as like a school project, I had to take their words and express what I felt when I heard them. Okay, so we get to the day that it's supposed to happen. I came on in, sitting down, nervous as heck, because first time I'd ever addressed this crowd. And when she came in, she rolled over there by me. She said, you ready? I said, yeah. She said, I'm not going to even read it. She wouldn't even let me call her and ask her any questions. She said it was what you're gonna do, and it's what I'm gonna do. And we're gonna see how this thing goes. So she got up there, and she did her part. And then she asked me to get up to do mine. And when I got up and did mine, it wasn't a dry eye in the room. Not a dry eye in the room. Everybody was talking about it. And y'all didn't compare notes or anything? No, we didn't. She wouldn't, even if I called her, she wouldn't let me talk about that. She said it had to be separate and see how God do. I really didn't know what she meant when she said see how God do. But that day, I realized what she meant. God did it. Oh yeah, he used our minds and our hands and everything, our brain. But it was him, because it was so much alike. So much. Till she couldn't even hardly get over it. She was in tears. She says, I knew you was the right one to do it. I knew you was. But she was just a good woman, Kaye. And I think of her so much. I really do, y'all. It wells me up that I lost her so soon. It really does. Because she brought greatness into my life. I mean, greatness. Not that I'm any better than anybody else or anything like that. But she brought what I needed at that time, that day. And she instilled it in me, and she hammered it in. She wanted me to know that God loved me, irregardless to who I was, irregardless to what I had done. Just ask him to forgive you, because he's the only one you're supposed to be asking. Just ask him to forgive you, and all is well. All is well. Then it come to the night that she died. She had to be rushed to the hospital, and nobody wanted to tell me because they knew we was boon coons. 2:00 in the morning, my buddy called me. He says, man, we've been discussing about who gonna tell you. Tell me what? Who gonna tell you that Kaye died? In those 3 years, she had become my world. I mean, some people don't understand that when you been wrong all your life, a criminal part of your life. Yeah, I got sober before she came into my life. I did. But once she came in, it was as if God was saying, here, this is what you need. Listen to her. Listen to this young lady. And that's the reason why I'm going to share it today. Because I believe that they still wouldn't want me just to keep it in my own self. And I listened in her house, at a club, or at a restaurant. I'd even go up to her house. That was when I was in good shape. I'd go up to the house and pick something to eat. And we sit at the table and eat it. But she was the best. She was the best. And I know anybody who ever knew Kate thinks about her. She ain't got to worry about nobody forgetting her. She ain't. Because her persona is so big and bright. Woo! Many times I wish mine was that bright. Many times. I loved her to the bottom of my heart. I did. Anyway, they called. They told me she had died. And they had the funeral maybe about 3 days after that. She was in such bad shape. Her body and thing was. Huge bed sores. It was just terrible. And the funeral parlor called me. I said, okay, what's up? They wanted to tell me that she wanted me to participate in her funeral. Okay, I got you. I'll write a poem. Oh, no, you got to do more than that. She wanted me to sing and talk. That was before I got so bad. But it was an honor to do it. An honor to do it for this beautiful, unselfish, caring woman that didn't have to be none of those things. Because so many, when they get in a wheelchair, they just start hating themselves and everybody else. If she hated herself, I never saw that. But I did see the outpouring of love for other people. Not only me, many other people. Many. I just wanted to tell the story. Oh yeah, another thing. The day of the funeral, I wore a cross that she gave me. Beautiful little cross. I don't even know if I can find it there. It's in the jewelry box somewhere. And when I did it, I wore it. And I was speaking. The audience told me after it was over that the sun hit it and just beamed while I was talking. Glad nobody let me know that, because I wouldn't have known what to do. But just God wanted her in our lives. And Hope's Kitchen missed her for many years. That's all we talked about was Kaye. Miss Kaye. Miss Kaye. See, when people walk into your life like that, they weigh a ton in faith. I mean, she was weighted down in faith. She's there to help those that aren't. And I thought I was a good Christian by that time. But she proved me wrong. But when she passed away, I was a good Christian. I understood and I listened. And I knew she wouldn't lie to me. See, God knows what to bring you when you're in need. He really does. And I love him for that. But like I told the girl the other day, I love God. I love him with all my heart. But the most important thing that I found out since I started to love him I realize he loves me back. And the reason why I know he loves me back is because some of the things that happened to me even before I acknowledged that God was in my life, if I hadn't had him, I would have been dead. And I thank him every day, for giving me the strength to live to this 74 years, giving me the strength to love other people, to care for them, to take them in, although I've been done bad quite a few times. But he gave me this heart that I have to do. It's a lady right now, Joanne, who needs a place. And she got roaches in the house. It took $600 to get them out of here. That scares me because I can't stand a bug. I just don't know what to do because I've already rented out my rooms. I just don't know what to do. And I feel for her so much. She pointed to the couch when she was here yesterday. I said, what you pointing over there for? That's where I sleep. But see, you lay on